Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader. I've got a message for Cancer today, and to let you know how this works, I have asked my guides and spirit to bring a message through the cards that will be deeply meaningful and helpful for you this week as you navigate your spiritual journey. I've also asked for inspirational as well as uplifting because I just felt like we needed those energies this week. So if you're new to this channel, I welcome you and I'm so glad you're here. I strongly urge you to consider subscribing so you can stay in contact with this high vibration information consistently every week. And if you're returning, I'm so glad that you're here and I'm very grateful for your presence. I also wanted to let you know about a special offering I have just for a week or so. They are solstice/New Year's readings, filled with information to empower you on your personal journey forward and to get the most that you can out of 2021. So if you're interested in that or you know someone who might be interested, the direct link is in the description below, or you can check out trueguidancetarot.com. So jumping into your reading right away, really interesting, Cancer. Things aren't what they seem, and I feel like this is such a trite thing to say for a spiritual reading, but yeah, things just aren't what they seem. The universe gives you a Two of Cups moment. Now, this may be a literal moment with someone who is very close with you, or this may be like a soulmate coming back into your life, but it's part of your soul recognized in another person. So it doesn't even have to be something that is a lasting connection. It can be just like a fleeting one sometimes. You know, when you meet someone and you just know that you've known them before in a past life, that kind of thing. But it's whether or not it stays or is transient is not so much the issue, but it's that the universe is sending you really something very special, something for you to learn something about yourself. And it's also, I'm looking at the flow of their cloaks. There's just a lovely flow of energy. They give you something, their presence gives you something, and their presence and your presence gives them something. So this is a really special moment in time. Now, it has you respond with the Six of Cups, which is interesting. It's almost like you're presented with this in real time, and then you go back in your memory, looking at the child, the innocence of the childhood relationships that you had, and you're kind of feeling wistful for something in the past. So again, if this is something where you realize it's a past life connection, it has you kind of looking backwards and looking a little bit sad or nostalgically at that, like, oh, you know, it's not here anymore. It's not here. So I guess what I'm feeling is for some of you, this is a transient moment, and then you're filled with this sense of longing. But it's really interesting because what comes next are some amazing cards. The Tower, the Three of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. So let me think about how I want to approach this, because it's a little bit, there's a lot of information and it's a little bit layered. So I just want to make sure I can get it. Okay, so go back to the cups. This relationship came back, or this moment in time comes to you to show you something about yourself. It's not necessarily to stay, but it's to show you something that's going to help you create something bigger in the future. So, this isn't going to be what the example I'm going to give you is not what it's going to be, but I'm giving you a light example just to kind of to lighten things up a little bit. So it's like this person comes into your life and maybe they love tomatoes, and you're being around them, you eat all sorts of tomatoes, and you realize like, oh wow, yeah, I really love tomatoes. So you learn something about yourself that you maybe didn't know before. And like I said, that's a silly example. That's not what it's going to be for you. But we come to this, the Tower moment, and this is you realizing that some things that you have wanted in the past from relationships aren't actually true. They're not actually what you want, and they're not actually going to help you. He's literally flinging these two people out of the tower. And you see them, they're falling. But they're so removed we can't even see their features. This is an impersonal thing. This is the universe saying to you, you know, what you thought you wanted was not actually what you want, you know? You may have wanted someone that was 6'2" with eyes of blue and lots of muscles or whatever, but actually it turns out that you would prefer someone who's maybe blonde and 5'4", closer to your height, and maybe someone that has more substance on the inside and doesn't look a certain way. So again, I'm giving you silly examples, but there's a moment where our ideals get shattered, and that's what I feel like this is. And this has been happening a lot for a lot of people this week. And so Cancer, this may be you picking up on a collective energy. What we think we want is not what we actually want. And sometimes what we're struggling and pushing against turns out to be the thing that we want. I'm not talking about dysfunctional relationships. I'm not talking about relationships where you're disrespected or unloved or any of that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about things that you fight that actually have given you something special. They've given you more strength in yourself, or they've given you a better understanding of yourself. Because when you have this clear realization of what you actually want, we have these two amazing cards coming. The Ace of Wands, which gives you the power and the energy and the clarity to know what it is that you want. This Stag is an important initiating life force figure. It gives life into the celebratory Three of Cups energy, where you're able to surround yourself with true soulmates. And I mean people that are aligned with your soul purpose, people that are your people. And there's a funny breaking apart here too, just like the Tower was a breaking. These are, if you look at them in an abstract way, these cards are actually very similar in their artwork. There's the idea of breaking here, we have breaking here, but this gives birth to the light, where this is the light shattering it. So this is the light of your soul coming in saying, hey, you know what you were actually struggling with, the fact that this person gives you a lot of space, or maybe the fact that this person is in your space a lot, that actually gives you something that you want. That gives you either the independence or the special shared intimate space that you want. Maybe they're a little too inside your bubble. Maybe that's a good thing, because maybe that gives you what your heart's desires. So in doing that, in finally becoming aware of what your heart's desire is, you're able to enjoy that space, not only with this other person, but with other people in your life that elicit that same soul connection. So it's funny, your reading is about realizing what soul connections are and understanding that they don't always match our emotional connection to the ideal of what it is. Sometimes soul connections come in just to spark something in your soul. They don't come in to last and be with you forever. And sometimes they do. And sometimes they're very unlikely. You know, sometimes they don't look a certain way and we want to run screaming from them because we don't like the idea of committing to it. But it's really understanding the tension between an ideal relationship and a relationship that's real. And sometimes our emotions get carried away and we can't really see the forest through the trees. And that's why we have this fire coming in to help you. This blinding, oh my gosh, I see the light, I see it finally. So this is getting out of the emotional space a bit more and getting in touch with that true divine energy that comes in through the crown and illuminates the heart. Not the emotions, which are lower. That's the solar plexus, sacral chakra area. The heart's right here. So this is asking to shine the true light on the heart, which is not what we think. We think our heart is, following your heart, following your emotions, doing what makes your heart happy. That's part of it. But the heart is that which recognizes the soul. So you'll feel a strong, deep resonance with who you are, but it's a deep knowing. It's not a superficial one. It's very easy to get lost in the superficial trappings of what we expect that soul connection to be or soul connection to look like, but it's actually very different. So let me see if there's any other message they want. They're saying emphasize the stag. So this is also asking you to be an initiator of your relationships, not to just kind of take what's coming to you, but to really push forward with your manifesting energy of, okay, this is the partnership I expect. This is the energy I would like to receive back to me. They're wanting you to use this knowledge from this reading to really shoot yourself forward and to really feel inspired to see yourself as an attracting force rather than just, I'm going to take what I can get. So, okay, there's something else they want to say with that. This is a new way forward for you. I'm looking at the spring and the greenery. This is a potential for lots of growth. So it's almost like you cut yourself off from the expectations of the past. You receive the blessing of the soul connection here. And then you understand how to grow your new way forward, how to grow your community, how you understand how to grow your true soul family, but all from the place of that divine and not just from the yearnings of the emotion. Okay? All right, so they're saying that's good. If you have questions about that, please reach out. I always love to hear from you. And I wish you a great week, and I'll see you next time.